Sexual scripts in our culture are often solitary secrets, but through peer talk, we build a social reserve. This reserve protects us from the isolation. Why is there such a stigma around masturbation? It mostly comes down to history and culture. For centuries, many religious and social institutions framed it, or even a medical issue, to maintain social control. Over time, those old myths baked into our upbringing, turning a natural biological function into a source of shame. But here's the reality: the stigma is a social construct.
Sociologically, we look at the social construction of reality. When a peer group collectively decide to talk about a taboo, they are performing a linguistic intervention. They move the act from the place of deviance to a place of social reality.
Even today, many guys only talk about this through memes or jokes to avoid feeling awkward. The biggest barrier is our language. We use slang or clinical terms, but we rarely have a normal way to talk about it without feeling like we're losing status or being judged. We've moved from old religious stigmas to new ones, like the idea that it's a waste of energy, which keeps the conversation stuck in a cycle of secrecy and shame. A critical gap exists. While the behavior is a reality, the language to discuss it safely is missing. We need a linguistic rebirth.
Linguistic rebirth is a fancy way of describing a comeback for a language. In simple terms, it happens when a language that has been dying out or completely stopped being spoken in daily life is brought back to use by a community. By using slang and informal discourse, peers strip away the heavy clinical or sinful weight of the topic. Language becomes a shield against social judgment.
Let us explore a fascinating psychological phenomenon. Shared experiences can alleviate the internal conflict often felt when private actions clash with societal expectations. By fostering a sense of community, individuals can resolve deep-seated mental tension and reclaim a sense of personal consistency. How does this affect individual psychological well-being?
It facilitates normalization. When a man hears a peer speak of it, the solitary secret dissolves. This reduces the cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort you feel when you hold two conflicting beliefs, when your behavior doesn't match your values, between his private behavior and his public identity.
Normalization is the process through which behaviors once seen as shameful become accepted as standard. By realizing others share the same experience, the individual no longer feels like an outlier. Now, modern youth leadership is reshaping the social rules within male circles. By prioritizing authenticity over judgment, are transforming vulnerability into a mark of leadership and trust. How do youth leadership dynamics and peer groups protect and reinforce these shifting social norms?
Nakita nato ang group recognition. Sa ani mga circles, lahi na ang rule. Kung istoryahan nimo og tarong, makita ka nga masaligan imbes nga pakaulaw. Usa kini kausaban nga nagsugod mismo sa katawhan aron usbon ang dagan sa atong moralidad.
The transition from solitary secrets to shared social reality highlights a linguistic rebirth. Informal peer discourse strips away historical shame to create a more authentic moral script. This group recalibration replaced traditional social exclusion with a new standard of trust. Speaking honestly is now a mark of leadership rather than a cause for shame. Ultimately, by fostering these social reserves, individuals resolve cognitive dissonance, aligning their private behaviors with a public identity that values authenticity over outdated social constructs.
To change a culture, we must first change its vocabulary. Healthy self-expression starts with the courage to speak the unspoken,